would help and everything. Except when he hears the call for the prayers, he leaves everything and goes out to the prayer.
Nobody.
Subhanallah.
Subhanallah. Yes, one of his characters, which is part of the total picture of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that we should pick from and take as a role model in that specific criteria. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was always ready to help.
Yes.
No matter what situation he is at or what kind of condition he is at, he's always paying detailed attention to each and every surrounding of him. One of the stories that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, in Surah Abasa wa Tawalla. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was at the beginning of his mission, trying to spread Islam, trying to tell people about Islam. And from his point of view, he found that if I talk to those leaders of this or this city, a lot of people would accept Islam if they do. So he was paying a lot of attention to them. But in the meantime, there is this blind man walked in and asked him for a direction and asked him, give me direction about how to worship Allah the right way. So he asked him, just give me a couple of minutes until I finish those ones. That little touch, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you did not do wrong. This is not wrong what you've done. But leave that to Allah, which is now we call it at-tawakkul, or depending on Allah on every move that you do. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam through that gave us a lesson how to do our things, but in the meantime leave that in the hands of Allah. He's going to be phenomenal.
More important, you give attention to everybody. Rich and poor. It is not. It's a human nature. We want to treat the powerful people or rich people differently, or treat them first. And here the message is, regardless, treat them all the same and give them all the same attention. So, you know, and this is very important from leadership. And that's why when we talked last time and we said, you know, his friend loved him, it's loved out of respect, not fear. Most, you know, authority figures, people try to show that they love them, but you know, it's more fear of their position or reprisal than the respect. But Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he was fair, he was always just among people, and people knew that how it is, so they loved him, and they loved him for himself rather than anything else. We have to go for a break, and inshallah we'll carry on with the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Muslim Chronicle. We are talking about the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how he is the greatest role model of all time. And one of the stories that stick to in my mind is he was doing tawaf around the Kaaba, going around the Kaaba, and there was this Muslim going in front of him, and this man is going around and saying, Ya Kareem. Ya Kareem meaning he's calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with one of his names, which is the generous. So he said it in a nice way, so Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam liked what he said, and he said behind him, Ya Kareem. So the man goes and says, Ya Kareem, and Prophet Muhammad says, Ya Kareem. The man got upset, you know, he doesn't know this is Prophet Muhammad. So the man looks behind him and says, if it wasn't for your nice calm face, I would have complained about you to my beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he says, do you know him? Mr. Man said, I don't know him, but I love him. He said, I am your beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the man tells him, I want to give a message to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if he makes me accountable for my sins, I will account him for his forgiveness. If he makes me accountable for anything I missed, I will make him accountable for his generosity. If he makes me accountable for not giving, I will make him accountable for giving too much. So Jibreel, the angel, comes to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving a message to this man. Tell him he should not make us accountable, and we will not make him accountable. He will go to Al-Jannah. Subhanallah.
See?
So
this is the Bedouin. This Bedouin is very clever. He got to the Jannah in a very simple way.
And it reminds me, you mentioning he's a Bedouin Arabi. And there is another Bedouin who came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us accountable himself. He's the judge himself in the day of judgment. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, yes. He said, each and every one of us, Allah will judge us. He told him, yes. So the man smiled and stayed quiet. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, why did you smile? He said, because Allah is generous. And when the generous is judging, he forgives.
Yes,
so now I am feeling at peace.
Happy.
So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, this man knows. He's simple, but he knows. Subhanallah.
Yes.
What else would you like to share with us about the life of Prophet Muhammad?
Subhanallah, Allah gave us one of the richest sources of akhlaq. Through Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the manners and the character and the quality that a man or a Muslim should have. He put them all in one pot, and that pot was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if we have the ability to reach into that pot and pick any kind of manners or characters, we have plenty of those. So if we can have the courage to pick one of those ones and adopt that one.
Well, give us an example.
An example. It's called the generosity of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Subhanallah, yes.
Subhanallah, he was poor by choice.
Yes.
He was not poor because economic mandated on him to be poor. He reached the point that he could have owned every richness on this earth.
Yes.
But he refused. And he said, even if I was given that actually, I will distribute it among the poor. And even one of the Sahaba described him. He said, he's always generous, at any given day generous, but specifically in 1 month, it's called Ramadan. He described him, he says, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I want to describe him as like the gentle wind, continuous wind. Karrih al-mursala. Gentle wind, that means anything he gets, you look at his hands, if he get that thing, then it suddenly is gone. Why? Because he's passing it to somebody else. He's always given out.
And an example of this, you remind me of the story. All he had is 2 or 3 dresses he wears. And they say that there is a man who wasn't well off. He wanted to join the prayers after Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He didn't have a dress to wear. He borrowed his wife's dress and went and joined to pray after Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After the prayer, he wants to go back to give his wife her clothes. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after the prayer, would always look behind and see who's missing. Because if somebody's missing, you have to go and visit them if they're sick, if there's a problem. So he noticed this companion quickly trying to run out. So he sent somebody after him and told him, I want to talk to you. So anyhow, the man comes back. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asks him, why are you rushing out? He says, Ya Rasulullah, I didn't have a dress to wear. I'm a poor man and I borrowed my wife's. You know, I wanted to wear a nice dress to the prayers and I'm going back to give her. So as we said, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had only 2 or 3 dresses. So he took one of his, you know, the second or the third one he has, and gave it to this man and said, here, you take this one. So the man goes back to his wife with this nice dress. The wife looks at him and says, did you complain to Prophet Muhammad about our situation? This is from Allah. That we don't have, it's from Allah. How could you tell Prophet Muhammad or complain? We should never complain. We should accept what we have. And you notice here she didn't say, why didn't you ask him for one for me too? Usually, you know, this is what the situation is. Ask for one for me too. But she told him, did you complain that we don't have to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So he says, of course not. He noticed. And this is an important thing about a leader. Has to notice the people, have to ask and inquire. So he noticed and he offered me this. But he told her, anyhow, I will not wear it. I will ask to be buried in it. When I die, I'll bury in it. So when the angels come to ask me, what do you say about the man who was sent among you, which is Prophet Muhammad? He says, he's our prophet and my friend and I'm wearing his dress.
Subhanallah.
You know, it's just
very lovely. Very lovely.
That's the life, giving. You know, even though he might have had 1 or 2 dresses, but he gave. And any money he had, he will give.